Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to follow up on my video on the M2 to CF Express memory card with some additional affordable accessory options for your camera. Because let's face it, everyone watching YouTube can't afford all the expensive accessories that a new mirrorless camera may require to get started. So let's go ahead and dive in. First up, yes, the M2 to CF Express memory card adapter. I know I just discussed this in my last video, but I can't stress enough how much of a cheat code this is if you have a new mirrorless camera that supports CF Express cards. This will, in most cases, unlock features in your camera that you may not have otherwise with a UHS 1 or UHS 2 memory card, like different levels of 4K or 8K recording and improved read-write speeds, which can allow you to take pictures faster. Next up, the Viltrox 85mm f1.8 lens. This cheap lens is a perfect starter lens for portrait photography. I knew Viltrox made lens adapters, but imagine my surprise that Viltrox made lenses as well. With a fast aperture speed of 1.8 and a price tag of about $400, this is the great starter lens. The feel and size of this lens is incredible, especially for the price. It's even better when you search around and find it for about $100. I'll do a bit more of an in-depth on this lens later, but let's just say the compromises for the price aren't what the average photographer or videographer will be interested in and may easily be overlooked. Okay, so this next one is a two-parter, as you will need them both to make a functional accessory. If you've been doing as much research as I have on cameras and lenses, you probably have come across the vintage lens community. Most may find themselves considering vintage lenses for the cost benefits, while some may be in it for the bokeh effects that are just undeniably beautiful. Okay, so pause. I know some people may be like, what the bleep is bokeh? Bokeh or bokeh is the blurring effect you see behind your in-focus subject. It can have many characteristics such as swirls, stars, and a lot more, but it is something that can give your photos and videos a bit of pop when used right. But I'm ranting, so let's get back to the reason I'm talking about vintage lenses. With me now having a camera with an RF mount, RF lenses suffer from what I call the Canon tax. So looking at a quality vintage lens can give you the focal lengths, bokeh, and amazing sharpness you seek for a fraction of the cost. I have the main three focal lengths, 35, 50, and 85, to cover with a few RF lenses, but not a true macro lens. A macro lens is a lens where I figured I could be doing a specific type of shooting and wouldn't need all the features that come with electronic sensors and multi-glass constructed lenses. So I searched a bit on the vintage market and found this pretty well preserved 50mm f1.4 super macro Takumar from KEH Photography. I paired it with a relatively cheap M42 to EOS R mount, and voila, I now have a pretty powerful macro lens. This combo can be assembled for as cheap as $70 or up to around $150 for a pristine example like this one. An EF or RF macro lens in good shape will cost you anywhere from $600 to upwards of $3,000. So again, as a starter macro, this is a good option and will give me a little flexibility in my lens lineup. Next up, these 3D printed. Here he goes again talking about 3D printed parts. Well, yeah, because they save you money and in most cases give you the same functionality of or near functionality of the originals with the option to pick your own colors or add a level of customization to them. Since you all are probably exhausted of my time-lapse videos, I figured I would just talk briefly about these 6 printed items and leave the links in the description for you to check out. To organize my memory cards, I printed both a CF Express memory card box as well as an SD and micro SD card box. So on this side I have micro SD, on this side I have SD, and of course I just put a little label on it with my label maker. And then this is my CF Express. Currently I don't really have many of those because again, they're expensive. I do plan to build out a second M.2 to CF Express card as soon as that one comes in the mail. This next item I don't really use as I'm mostly in front of the camera, but I did think it was cool and wanted to share it with you all. It's a 3D printed follow focus with a few parts from Lowe's. I paired it with this 3D printed focus ring. If you ever see someone with these enlarged focus rings, it's likely they are just on their cameras for a bit of style and not actually used to pull focus. But I can see where these would come in handy for someone as an added bit of texture to feel for when you are focused on the subject behind the camera. As some of you may know, you can never have enough lens cap covers, and my M42 to EOS R adapter didn't come with one. I printed this red one to protect the rear element of my lens. It even has RF on the inside so you can identify which lens this goes on. And for the front, we have a custom designed lens cap cover created by the YouTube channel DSLR DIY CNC. They created the initial design. I added some customization to the front, and on the back, all you need is the little wings from a small size binder clip. And that's what gives you the springiness to clip it to a lens. You can put whatever you want on the front. I made this little custom design here just in Tinkercad real quick, but you can pretty much put anything that you can import into Tinkercad and print on this surface. So as you can see, there are lots of options out there to get accessories that will fit your workflow, as I'm finding out myself. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any that I didn't cover or that could be added to the list. As always, I hope you all liked the video and learned something. If so, remember to like and subscribe and click on the bell to get notifications anytime I post new content. See you all on the next video. Later.